That was fantastic, Charlie. Thank you. Normally at this point, we would bring up our general evaluator, but our friend Brent Spencer is not here today. So I get to take on that role as general evaluator. And my role as general evaluator is basically to evaluate everything in the meeting. Evaluations are the heart and soul of the Toastmaster Club. We're here to learn and grow in our communication and leadership skills, and the way we do that is by getting positive and constructive feedback from our evaluators. Each evaluator is going to be given 2 to 3 minutes, and at this point what I'd like to do is call from our evaluator Pete Solent to evaluate Tim. Hold up here.
Toastmaster. Tim, man, great job getting through your first speech. I know that's a huge hurdle, at least it was for me, just a lot of nervousness getting up there. I really like the way that you were up here. Appreciated just bringing in scripture from the very beginning and then going from there. And your whole talk was just wrapped around to lay down your life. And that's applicable to all of us, you know, even if we're not married. Just the idea of being able to give up our life for those that we love, and that's what Christ has called us to do. But, sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Getting back to what you were saying, you were organized, you prepared well for this. It was obvious that at all times you knew where you were going, and you knew what you wanted to say, and that came across really well. It gave us confidence in what you were saying, or it gave me confidence in what you were saying. And you have I thought you had a good speaking voice and that you spoke clearly. You were a little fast at the beginning, and I picked up on that because I know that's something that I've had to deal a lot with. It's just nervousness for me. And as your speech went on, you seemed to slow down and kind of pace yourself in that. So really great job kind of getting through that initial nervousness. And I really like the way that you just inflicted humor on us, or on me. Sorry, I'm trying to realize that as an evaluator, I should be speaking in first person. I liked your sense of humor in there. I liked the way that you used Tim time, and how, let's see, well, this wasn't humor, but this was something that really stuck with me. How you said, I'm not one. Laying down your life means, and being married doesn't mean that you're now one. It means that we are now one. That was a really great analogy. And yeah, just to encourage you with this, again, you did a really great job with this, and applaud you for moving through your first speech and giving it all. You had some good eye contact in there, and I think for the future, as you move away from your notes, you'll be able to connect even more with the audience through that eye contact. Because what I really enjoyed was when you kind of left the notes, I got a sense that you really enjoyed actually being up here and sharing your story with us. So thanks again, Tim.
Who has won awards for doing these evaluations. At least you don't have to follow him. Angel, come up here and evaluate.
It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to evaluate someone who starts their speech talking about me. Fellow Toastmasters and guests today, when you have a speech that is to inform, one of the biggest hurdles that you have to face is to decide how are you going to capture the audience. What is the technique you're going to use to get all this information, but first of all, get my attention really quick. And Charles did that very well by going ahead and using a question. Starting out by asking us, do we want to fulfill our God-given potential? That's the way you get information going. That's the way you get our brains to suddenly say, I better wake up because I want to answer yes to that question. Then, of course, he used very big, bold props. I think he's competing against Nicole right now as to who's going to take up the board more with their props and graphs and everything. And this was very important. I thought it was very honorable to show immediately that not only were we looking at the conventional Toastmaster tracks, but he added this horizontal track, this allowing us to reach out and reach towards God. That was very unique, very, I would like to see more of that. I like the movement that you used. When you have several points, you're saying point A, point B, point C, you actually purposefully put them in a position on the stage. And that's an advanced technique. That's something that all of us should be striving for. Excellent use of that. I also like that you paused often to bring up a point and then let us marinate a little bit in that. That pausing is extremely important. It's one of those vocal variety techniques that help you to make sure that people are paying attention. Some areas of improvement that I'd like to see you work on. One is when you are using a chart like this, it's important to stand out of the way of the chart, especially if you're about to emphasize something. So when you started by saying the horizontal and the two vertical tracks, this is important to make sure that you out of the way so people do it. If you do it from here, you're blocking some of the folks that are at the far right corner. I'd like to see you decide